What's going to be the worst class to pick for Diablo 3 in Season 16? Filthy Casual. Hi guys, it's the Filthy Casual here. I make Diablo 3 videos and upload them to the internet. First, I'd like to say thanks for watching. I hope you're having a great day. I hope this video at least proves interesting or it sparks maybe a little bit of discussion. So first off, what you're seeing in the background is Diablo 3 running on 4K on the Xbox One X. Is it worth upgrading to an Xbox One X or a PS4 with HDR? If you play a lot of Diablo, I think the game definitely looks better, it runs smoother, and all in all you can have a better time with it. So I'd say yeah, it's worth doing. The background gameplay is some Necromancer, doing some GR60s, chilling out, doing some gem ups. It's a pretty popular build, pretty easy build to play. If anyone wants any tips on it, just hit me up in the comments, but it's pretty searchable on YouTube. Now when I say what's going to be the worst class to play, I don't necessarily mean what's going to be the lowest GR level that a class is going to achieve, but what I mean by that is what's going to be the least enjoyable class to play. Now 261 we've had for 12 months, and there have been no changes to any of the classes in that time. Frankly, I've got a little bored of it. Played pretty much all the top builds, played a lot of Crusader, a lot of Necromancer, a lot of Wizard, a lot of Monk, pretty much every class except for the Witch Doctor, which is generally garbage tier. Now, 264 in Season 16 offers some interesting things. You've got the Royal Ring of Grandeur buff, so everybody's going to get a free Royal Ring incorporated into their build, and you're also going to get some balance changes to all the different classes. Now, I've linked the patch notes in the video description. But most classes are getting a buff of up 2, 3, 4 times to their damage output with the 6 set bonuses equipped. Even the inner set's getting a whopping 10 times multiplier. And there's one class that's pretty much left out, and obviously presumably by the gameplay in the background you guessed it, or maybe you've read the patch notes, but it's actually the Necromancer. Now, if you look at the Necromancer changes, 3 of the sets are completely untouched. The only set, in fact, that they've changed is the Tragul set, and the 6-piece multiplier is going from 3,300% damage multiplier to 3,800%. The extra 500% sounds like a lot, but if you actually think about it in multiplicative terms, it's basically a 15% damage increase for the Tragul set. Now, if you're wondering why this is the case, then I think you need to have a word with this guy, Lord Fluffy.
Is there any plans to make this playable on PC, or is this strictly mobile forever?
Are there any? The current plan is to be on mobile, both Android and iOS. We don't have any plans at the moment to do PC.
Now, I'll link the New Meta podcast in the video description as well. If you play Diablo 3, if you're interested in Diablo 3, I'd check these guys out, Lord Fluffy and the P-Child. They do a really good podcast once a week. They talk a lot about Diablo 3, as well as other action RPGs and video game news in general. Now, obviously Fluff's joking when he says it's his fault, but it is funny that he's the one who's asked the question as to whether Diablo Immortals will be coming to PC, and the only class he pretty much plays is the Necromancer. So that's quite funny.
Put your tinfoil hat on for a second.
All right.
Am I being punished? Am I being punished for asking my question at BlizzCon that got the boo? Because they know I'm a Necro. So. They know I'm a Necro.
So. Yeah.
Now, he's done some testing on PTR. Obviously, PTR isn't on console. I do play on desktop. I do have access to the PTR, but I've basically got characters from vanilla with very little gear, Paragon about 600, something like that. And I really couldn't be bothered going through the whole process of working out what I was going to test and rank stuff up. And it was only open for a week, so I just didn't bother. And I'm filthy casual, so I'm lazy. But Fluff, who plays this game a lot, has tested the Trag set, and he says that it's not as strong as Pestilence. And thank God, because that Trigall set, the Bloodlancer push build, is absolutely awful. I played it, I think it was either the first or second season that it came out, so it must have been a year ago, because the set's on a 4-year rotation. I got my Blood set, it was a strong starting set, best build in the game at that point probably, one of the best builds in the game, and it's just a horrible playstyle. You use Land of the Dead to deal all your damage, and you creep around hiding from stuff, running away, hoping you don't die, to then press the button and do mega damage. I just don't enjoy that mechanic of being incredibly powerful to incredibly weak. It's just not fun. Plus the fact that you spend your own life when you do stuff, it's just not a playstyle that I particularly enjoyed. And I think a lot of people in the community feel the same. So really the question is there anything that's going to save Necro for next season? Because with just that one change, it's not looking great. So the other potential thing that affects the Necromancer is the Legacy of Nightmares buff. Now the PTR was short, so I don't think many people got a chance to test some builds, and people pretty much probably focused on the stuff that they knew was getting super juiced. So I don't know how many people were running around testing out Legacy of Nightmare Necromancer builds, but there is a slight issue with it, which is that pretty much every build for the Necromancer is going to use the Crispin Sentence ring. So if you use your 2 Legacy of Nightmare rings and then put that in your final jewellery slot, then you're pretty much locking out every build to those 3 items. Now I've got some LOM build ideas. I've got a couple made already. I'm just waiting for the changes to go live in early January on console. I'll be able to test them out to see whether they're as strong as I hope they are. So really, if you look at the changes that we're getting in this game, you've got to ask yourself, why on earth would you play Necro? Where's the incentive? This class is now in the same spot that it was a year ago. If you played Season 16 and you main a Necro, what's the difference to any of the last 4 seasons? You're basically going to have 1 year and 3 months playing the same builds, the same spec, the same everything. There's very little variety. Now, other classes, you're really going to feel this power increase. You're going to pick up your Barb, you're going to pick up your Witch Doctor, your Wizard, and you'll put these sets on, and it'll just be like they're absolutely juiced out of their mind. And that's good. If you think how powerful you feel when you pick up a power pylon, and that's going to be multiplied by 2, 3, 4 times, it's just going to feel different. Even though it's the same build, the fact that you'll be able to push a lot higher with these things, will give it a bit of freshness. Now obviously the other element of 264 is the Ring of Royal Grandeur. Now I don't think this is going to be the game changing thing that Blizzard says that it is. And initially when it first came out I thought, yeah, great, that's going to chuck up some interesting build diversity, some interesting choices. But if you think about it, it boils down to either you're using a build that's got Rogue in it already, in which case you're going to get a free jewellery slot in your cube, or if you're not using Rogue, then if there's something in your armour slot that you can put on and equip, you're going to equip that, and then your armour slot's free. And if that's not the case, then you're going to have to pick one of your 6 set pieces to remove and swap it out, so gloves, helm, chest, whatever it is. Now, unfortunately this isn't going to apply to off-season, so this buff is only going to be on season, so I think it's going to be quite hard to actually test what's going to work and what's not. Again, with the short PTR, it's going to be interesting to see what happens. Now, there is an outside chance that they'll actually change some stuff still before the next season goes live, which I think is the 11th of January. But I'm not too hopeful. Now, if it was me, and I was looking at the Necromancer, I'd probably buff an Arius. And the reason I buff an Arius is because Pestilence is already really strong. The Blood set, I don't really want to see that come back, so I'm not particularly interested. Maybe give it a bit more juice. Maybe up it to 4,500%. But really, the set I'd be looking to change would be an Arius. Rathma's got the rat runs, and an Arius basically I don't see what's the point in using it. If you look at the LOM buff, that's gone from 100 to 500% for the multiplicative damage for each item you've got equipped. So if you get 13 ancient pieces, you're going to be doing 6,500% multiplier damage. That's way higher than Inaris, which is at 3,750. And fine, you don't get your Bone Storm, as you can see in the video, running around just trashing stuff with that, but you're going to be dealing double damage. So any kind of build that Inaris would use to push with, Grim Scythe, Poison Scythe, that type of build, why would you not use Legacy of Nightmares? You'd get just double damage, and fine, you maybe don't get as much use out of the Wisdom of Cologne and the damage reduction, but if you crunch the numbers, by the time you add the 52% damage reduction to the 30% from the Wisdom of Cologne, you're probably about the same anyway. So, in summary, if I was going to pick one character next season, and I could only pick one character, I just wouldn't pick the Necromancer. It's been the same for a year. Treat yourself, do something nice, play something that's going to change, that's going to be new. So what do you guys think? Do you think Inaris should be buffed? Do you think there should be more changes before the season goes live? And tell me in the comments below, what class are you going to play? Well, that's me rambled for about 10 minutes. So I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you come back for some more content later. I'll see you in the next one.